What's up, everybody? So I just got off of the Facebook Live that I said that I was going to do in my group. It went well, and I wanted to hop back on Facebook Live on my personal page just because I felt like, you know, the last couple of days I haven't done a video. I did probably 3 this week, and I just feel like I need to do another video to provide some sort of value to y'all for the beginning of this coming week. And I wanted to do something a little different because I don't really know what exactly I'm going to talk about. I'm going to wait a little while for a couple of people to hop on here because I want to make sure that you all can hear me. So if you can hear me, comment a 1 in the comment section, just letting me know that you can hear me. Hey, Pierre, how you doing? Hey, Raymond, how are you? So I'm unsure of what I'm going to talk about yet, but I told myself that I was going to hop back on this live and, you know, provide some sort of value to those of you that are on my personal Facebook page. And it's not going to be business related. It's going to be something personal. However, I want to make sure that I have a couple of people on here before I get started. Hey, Josh, what's up? How you doing? And I'm not 100% sure, again, what I'm going to talk about, but comment a 1 in the comment section, just letting me know that you can hear me. And then I'm going to get started here in just a second. I'm kind of trying to buy myself some time because I didn't plan on what I was going to talk about before hopping on here. I kind of wanted it to be kind of a spur of the moment thing. And I wanted it to be different. I didn't want to talk about business, although I wanted it to be something that I believe can help you in your business. But I didn't want to talk about leads and, you know, capture pages and building an audience or any of that stuff. I wanted to provide those of you that maybe aren't even interested in building a business or anything like that, something that's going to be valuable as well. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, like, I see a lot of, you know, just bullshit basically on Facebook that isn't valuable, but it's taking away a lot of your time and it's not benefiting you at all. Like this, you know, the Momo challenge and, you know, everybody's talking about Trump and the wall. Well, none of that stuff is benefiting you all in your personal life. So I wanted to make a video and provide you with some sort of value that's different than what you're normally hearing, because like you hear enough nonsense on your Facebook wall as it is, and none of this stuff is helping you. Like, you know, talking about Democrats and Republicans or Trump and the wall and all this other crap is not benefiting your personal life. All it is doing is taking up your time, basically. And yeah, it's entertaining, but at some point you have to do something that's going to be beneficial to you. You have to start watching things that are going to benefit your personal life and you know, in your, you know, the relationships that you have. Like I see a lot of people on my Facebook page that, you know, go in and out of relationships on a constant basis, and it's because we weren't taught a lot of things that we should have been taught by our parents. You know, if you're like me, and it's not our parents' fault because they didn't know either, but you know, it's trickling down and it's getting worse and worse and worse. You know, we weren't taught the things that we needed to know, and so we're not teaching our kids the things that our kids need to know, and so it's just going to get worse and worse, and that's kind of what I see going on, not only on Facebook, but in, you know, your day-to-day life. Like, kids now are bad. You know, I thought that I was bad as a kid, you know, running away and doing the different things that I did, which I'm not going to get into on here. But like now looking at the kids that are coming up now, like they're getting even worse. So I feel like if I have something that I can do to help, that I should put out that information. And, you know, in the past, I used to look at things and yeah, I would know things are going in the wrong direction, but I wouldn't do anything about it. And I think that that is a problem. You know, if you see something wrong going on and you think that you could fix it, don't wait for somebody else to fix it. You know, be that change that you want to see. Don't wait for somebody else to be that change. You know, it's time for us as adults to step up and be the change that we want to see, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that are going to have to do it. And back to the relationship stuff, you know, I'm not going to say I thought that I had a good relationship, but because I know that I had a good relationship, and if you don't know this, I just got out of a relationship, and it wasn't really a bad breakup or anything like that. We just kind of went our separate ways. And, you know, looking back at it, these last couple of weeks, I've been trying to keep myself busy doing these Facebook Lives and, you know, working on my business and different things like that. But, you know, late at night, I can do nothing but think about, you know, what went wrong, where I went wrong, what happened. And I realized that, you know, we both kind of wanted the same thing, but we had different ways of showing that. So with that being said, you know, when you're with somebody, you have to realize that they didn't grow up the same way that you grew up. So when I grew up, I had to basically become an adult at a very young age. You know, I can remember, you know, being 6, 7 years old, home alone, wandering the neighborhood, you know, going to people's houses, doing different things. And that's to no fault of my parents, because, you know, they were out trying to provide for me. And I am where I am now because of that, because I had to grow up at a young age. And yes, it's kind of caused some problems in my life, which I'll get into, but we have to realize that our partners, or not even just our partners, like the people that you meet on a day-to-day basis, they didn't grow up how you grew up, and we're all just trying to do the best that we can, to be happy, really. That's what most of us want. We just want to be in a relationship. We want to be happy. We want to live a nice life. But the different experiences that we had growing up until now have caused us to have a different outlook on things. So the way you might look at something, I might not look at it the same way. So whenever you're in a relationship, you know, when you first get in the relationship, everything is good because you overlook, you know, all the little stuff. And, you know, as time goes on, you start paying more and more attention to those little things, and you forget, you know, what led you to that person to begin with. And then that's where things start getting bad, because we start focusing on the negative instead of focusing on the positive. And then from there, we start, you know, griping and complaining about those things that we want to see, thinking that it is going to make that person change. And you have to realize, you know, on both ends, if both of y'all are complaining about different things every day, that's not benefiting the relationship. If you want somebody to change, you have to be that change that you want to see. You can't just complain when you're in a relationship and just think that that person is going to change. You have to be that change. Maybe that person doesn't learn the same way that you learn, and maybe they don't look at things the same way that you look at things. So, you know, just griping, it, you know, just frustrates that person, and it doesn't help, you know, make things better. So, for instance, what can I use as an example? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my personal relationship as an example, just because I don't know what else to use, and it's the easiest thing for me to talk about. So for you to understand where I'm coming from, I have to kind of go back and kind of explain how I grew up. So I grew up living with my grandparents a lot of the time when I was little, because my actual father was not there in my life, and my mom had to work to provide for us. So a lot of times I was at my grandparents' house. My grandmother got sick when I was pretty young. I don't even remember the age that I was, but I was very young. I want to say I was maybe 6, 7, somewhere around that age. So my grandma was put in the hospital, and then my grandpa had to work to provide for my grandma to be in the hospital, basically, and, you know, the house payment, everything that comes along with that. So my mom was working a lot, and my grandfather was working a lot, and I was at my grandparents' house a lot when I was younger. So that gave me a lot of free time to do a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done. Just to give you one example of one of those things, I remember watching Bill Nye on TV, and I remember the episode was about how diamonds were formed. And if you don't know how diamonds were formed, they're formed by coal and they're formed by pressure. So me being a kid and, you know, not having anybody around, I had this bright idea of making my own diamonds. So I knew that my grandfather, he used to barbecue a lot. He had a bag of charcoal. So I'm going to take this charcoal and I'm going to make some diamonds out of it. So what did I do? I first tried like getting a hammer, smashing it, because again, to make diamonds, it's basically coal under pressure. So I thought that I could hit it with a hammer and make diamonds. Well, of course that didn't work. All it did was smash the coal into pieces. So then, you know, I tried putting the coal under, I don't even remember what I tried putting it under, but I tried putting like a lot of heavy stuff on top of this charcoal and then trying to jump on it to try and make diamonds out of it. And of course that didn't work. So, you know, one of the other things that they were saying in this, on this show was it takes a lot of heat as well. So what did I do? I put a piece of charcoal in the microwave and almost caught the microwave on fire. So I took the charcoal out of the microwave, threw it away. And so I was like, oh man, well, the microwave doesn't work. So then I put a piece of charcoal in a pan and tried to make it that way, almost set the house on fire. And I doubt that, you know, my parents even know that this happened because I was home alone, like I said. But, you know, like I said, I didn't have anybody around me, or a lot of times when I was younger, so I had to grow up quickly. You know, I remember hanging out with a lot of kids that were a lot older than me in my neighborhood, which was, you know, kind of good and kind of bad. Luckily, the neighborhood that I was in wasn't too bad, so I didn't get into too much trouble. But then, you know, a few years later, I had a brother and I had a sister. Stepdad came into the picture. That relationship wasn't too good. I'm not going to get into that. Ended up having to take care of my brother and sister a lot because my mom and my stepdad were working. You know, I was made to clean the house and do all this other stuff while they were at work and take care of my brother and my sister. And again, I was probably 10, 11 years old. So I didn't have a childhood to where I really had, I'm not saying that my parents weren't loving or anything, but they just weren't around to give me that love and show me, you know, how to be affectionate to people and different things like that. I was basically taking care of myself, taking care of my brother and my sister. So one of the problems that I had in relationships, or the current relationship that I was in, is that I'm very hardworking because of that, because I was always growing up having to take care of, you know, my brother and my sister. And then, once I was, 14, 13 years old, I was going around cutting grass and different things like that to help provide for my family because my stepdad got injured when he was working. So I had to help out around the family a lot. I had to get a job when I was very young. So, I really didn't have that opportunity to, just be a kid. And I don't really think that my parents were bad or anything like that. So don't take it that way. This is just, what was happening. I had to grow up young. I had to become an adult young. And so like, with that being said, I don't really like play around a lot. Like if something needs to be done, I'm going to do it then. And I joke around sometimes and different things like that. But when it comes to business, when it comes to, working, different things like that, like I'm a hard working person because I know where I came from and I definitely do not ever want to be poor again. And I have a problem with trying to take care of people, probably a little bit too much to where maybe it can become annoying. I don't really know. But like, my girlfriend, I paid for all her bills. She didn't have to worry about anything. Whenever she needed money, I gave her money. And towards the end of our relationship, she was just frustrated because she wanted to be independent. She wanted to have things on her own. And here I was taking care of everything and basically doing everything for her. And then on top of that, I wasn't showing her the affection that she needed to be shown because I was never given that affection myself. So yes, I tried. And, if you go look at her Facebook page, I always tried to post something on her page when I would forget during the day to, tell her that she was beautiful or something like that. I would try and, I would remember, later on in the day and try and post something on her page. But at the end of the day, that wasn't enough. But, she should have been understanding as well, and understood where I came from because, she knew about how I grew up and different things like that. And, at the end of the day, she knew that I loved her, but it wasn't the kind of love that I guess she was wanting to see. And hold on one second. I see a lot of stuff scrolling through here. So let me see if there's any questions on here. Okay, no. So we just have to realize that, whenever we're in a relationship, that we can't just nag and nag and nag. And we have to be understanding of how somebody else grew up and their background. And this doesn't only apply to relationships. This applies to friendships as well. This applies to business. When you're meeting people in a business, we have to start being understanding of where people came from and realize that not everybody was raised the same way that we were raised. And we need to figure out a way to come together to where we're not nagging each other, to where we're not calling people names, to where we're not just, acting like we're kids, basically. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, we have to start becoming understanding of people and figuring out how to work with people that don't have the same views that we have. So let me see who is on here right now. And see if I have any comments. So like I said, I didn't really know what exactly I was going to be talking about when I hopped on here. I hope that everything that I've said so far benefits you in some sort of way. I hope that, hey Herbie, what's up? I hope that, I don't know. I just hope that this helps somebody. And it helps, maybe it helps somebody's relationship. Maybe it helps with dealing with somebody that you're having a hard time with. or something. I just hope that this video can help you. If you found value in this video, please like it. Please share it with somebody. If you have any questions, definitely comment in the comment section. If you want to switch to another topic, we can do that. I have somewhere to go in a little while, but I do have a little bit of time. Hey, and congratulations, Herbie. I saw your post from a few days ago. And I'm going to wait a few minutes just to make sure that, because I know that there's a lag in what I'm saying versus when you actually hear what I'm saying. I think it's like 10, 12 seconds or something like that. So I want to make sure that I don't miss any comments. Yeah, definitely. I've been kind of busy here recently. But I'm taking vacation for my birthday, well, the week of my birthday, from my birthday is the 25th, and I'm taking vacation from the 25th to the 28th. So during that time period, I'm not going to be doing anything. So if you want to grab lunch someday that week, I'm definitely down to do that. And anybody else that's hopping on, like if there's something that you want to talk about, if there's something that I can help you with, definitely comment in the comment section and we can talk about it. Or if you want to hop on this live with me, I think they have a new feature to where I could like bring somebody on this live and we could like actually talk together on here if anybody wants to do that. If not, I'm going to hop off here in a few minutes. Give me a second. I'm going to grab my iPad. All right, if I don't get anybody else hopping on, I'm going to hop off here in a second, or if nobody has any comments. I've been on for like 20-something minutes, so. All right, well, I'll see y'all later. I hope everybody has a good evening.